Some bad news this morning for Chipotle customers. The burrito chain announced Wednesday that it has raised prices by about 2%.
4 pieces of chicken. That's what food influencer Keith Lee found when he dug through his Chipotle bowl in May 2024. And the 19.4 million people who watched that video agreed something was wrong. What followed was a shareholder lawsuit, a 58 million video TikTok pile-on, a CEO fleeing to Starbucks for $97 million, and a stock crash that erased nearly half the company's value in 18 months. This is what Chipotle is doing right now to survive, and some of it sounds like science fiction. We're talking robots that peel avocados, drones that deliver burritos to your backyard, a menu designed for people on Ozempic, and restaurants opening in the one country where this could either be genius or complete corporate suicide. The portion complaints started quietly in late 2023, scattered Reddit posts and TikTok videos from customers who swore their bowls were shrinking. At first it seemed like random grumbling, but by spring 2024, the phrase Chipotle small portion size had 58 million TikTok videos attached to it. This wasn't a few unhappy customers anymore. This was a movement, and that's when Keith Lee posted his review. 16.4 million followers watched him search for chicken in his burrito bowl, and what he found was, in his words, crazy low. 4 pieces, cold, flavorless. He said he'd been an out-loud supporter of Chipotle for years, but the love had to be just as loud as the constructive criticism.
I don't taste much flavor. Everything is freezing cold. When I say freezing cold, this tastes like it was in a refrigerator.
The comments exploded with people sharing their own experiences, and suddenly everyone had a Chipotle portion horror story. Here's where Chipotle made things worse. CEO Brian Niccol went on Fortune and said portions hadn't gotten smaller, then suggested customers could give workers a little look if they wanted more food. He actually demonstrated it on camera, widening his eyes and nodding, like that was a reasonable solution to paying $12 for a half-empty bowl. That clip pulled 900,000 likes and 32,000 comments, almost none of them supportive. People called it tone-deaf, out of touch, and proof that executives had no idea what regular customers were experiencing. A Wells Fargo analyst named Zachary Fadem decided to test this scientifically. His team ordered 75 identical burrito bowls across 8 New York City locations. Same ingredients every time, half ordered digitally and half ordered in person. The results were brutal. The smallest bowl weighed 13.8 ounces, barely more than a can of soda. The largest hit 26.8 ounces, almost double. Same exact order, 87% difference in weight. Some locations consistently served bowls 33% heavier than others. The analyst noted that many of the 10 lightest bowls came from the same unnamed store, and all 10 were digital orders. Shareholders filed a class action lawsuit that November, claiming Chipotle had understated customer dissatisfaction in official disclosures. The lawsuit covered anyone who bought or sold stock between February and October 2024. Chipotle won in court a year later when the judge ruled that viral criticisms weren't sufficient evidence of fraud, but the damage to their reputation was already done. And losing the public's trust wasn't even the biggest problem, because right in the middle of this crisis, Starbucks stole their CEO with a paycheck that has to be heard to be believed. Brian Niccol had transformed Chipotle since taking over in March 2018. Revenue nearly doubled under his leadership. Profits increased nearly 7-fold. The stock climbed approximately 800%. He was the turnaround king who pulled the company out of a food safety crisis and turned it into a Wall Street darling. Then Starbucks offered him $113 million to leave, including a $10 million sign-on bonus and $75 million in equity. His 2024 compensation at Starbucks came out to $97.8 million, which is 6,666 times what the median Starbucks employee earns. When a number like that lands on your desk, you take the meeting. Scott Boatwright stepped in as interim CEO in August 2024, got the job permanently that November, and inherited a company bleeding customers and stock value. Boatwright had been with Chipotle since 2017, running actual restaurant operations, so he knew the business from the inside. But knowing the business didn't stop the bleeding. Same-store sales dropped 4% in Q2 2025, traffic fell 4.9%, and the stock crashed 13% after Q3 earnings when they cut guidance for the 3rd consecutive quarter. From its June 2024 peak to late 2025, Chipotle shares dropped nearly 48%, while the S&P 500 climbed 13%. Everything Niccol built over 6 years, gone in 18 months. Most companies in this position would slash prices and beg customers to come back. Chipotle did the opposite, and their comeback plan involves robots, drones, and a bet that already destroyed Taco Bell. Chipotle's first move was addressing the portion problem with machines that don't get tired or cut corners. Avocado is a robot that cuts, cores, and peels avocados in 26 seconds flat, automatically adjusting for different avocado sizes. When you're processing 129.5 million pounds of avocados every year, that kind of consistency adds up fast. The augmented make line handles bowl and salad assembly automatically on a lower level, while employees work on burritos and tacos above, which matters because 65% of digital orders are bowls or salads. Both are in testing at California locations right now, funded through Chipotle's $100 million Cultivate Next Venture Fund. But the technology that sounds craziest is already live in Texas. In August 2025, Chipotle partnered with Zipline to launch drone delivery in Rollit, a Dallas suburb about 30 miles east of the city. They're calling it Chipotle, and yes, that's really the name. Here's how it works. You order through the Zipline app. A Chipotle employee loads your food into a docking station called a zipping point, and an autonomous aircraft flies it to your house. The drone hovers 300 feet up, uses cameras and NVIDIA chips to avoid obstacles, and lowers your burrito to the ground. Delivery costs $2.99 plus a 15% service fee capped at $6. Zipline has flown over 100 million commercial autonomous miles and makes a delivery somewhere in the world every 60 seconds. They started by delivering medical supplies to rural hospitals in Rwanda back in 2016, and now they're dropping burritos in suburban Texas. This isn't a gimmick. This is infrastructure. The drones and robots make sense. What comes next is either genius or corporate suicide, because Chipotle is about to open restaurants in a country where an American chain already tried selling Mexican food and completely failed. In April 2025, Chipotle announced they're partnering with Alcia to open 5 restaurants in northern Mexico by early 2026. An American company famous for burritos opening in actual Mexico. Taco Bell tried this. They closed every single location after failing to win over locals. Domino's opened pizza restaurants in Italy. Same result. And Chipotle is betting they'll somehow be different. Their logic is that northern Mexico has higher brand recognition because of proximity to the US, and they're positioning themselves as a modern fast casual concept rather than authentic Mexican food. Alcia's CEO said they want to replicate the success of Starbucks and Domino's in the region, starting with 5 stores in year 1. Whether that distinction matters to Mexican customers is something we'll find out in 2026. While robots and drones grab headlines, Chipotle's most calculated move might be the quietest one. On December 23, 2025, they launched their first ever high-protein menu, and 2 items are explicitly labeled GLP-1 friendly. That's a direct play for the millions of Americans on Ozempic and Zepbound who eat smaller portions but prioritize protein to maintain muscle mass. 70% of Americans now say they prioritize protein, and high-protein diets have ranked as the top diet pattern for 3 consecutive years according to data Chipotle cited. They built an entire menu around this trend. The standout item is the high-protein cup, which is 4 ounces of chicken or steak in a cup for $3.82. 32 grams of protein, 180 calories, designed as a snack or add-on. It's Chipotle's first ever snack item, basically formalizing a hack customers had been doing for years. The double high-protein bowl packs 81 grams of protein into 760 calories with double adobo chicken. Smaller portions, premium positioning, higher margins. After a year of getting destroyed for skimpy servings, Chipotle figured out how to make small portions a feature instead of a scandal. Here's where Chipotle stands right now. Over 3,900 restaurants across the US, Canada, UK, France, Germany, and the Middle East. More than 130,000 employees. Plans to open 350 to 370 new locations in 2026, with 80% featuring their Chipotlone digital pickup drive-thru. The long-term goal remains 7,000 restaurants across North America. The stock is trading at its cheapest price-to-earnings ratio in 5 years. The portion lawsuit is settled. Scott Boatwright is running operations, and the company is betting everything on technology, protein trends, and international expansion. 18 months ago, Chipotle looked untouchable. Then came the TikTok backlash, the CEO departure, and the stock collapse. Most brands would have panicked. Instead, Chipotle is sending drones to deliver burritos, deploying robots to peel avocados, building menus for weight loss drug users, and opening restaurants in the country that invented the food they're famous for. By early 2026, we'll know if any of it worked. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.